Hi everyone, this is Diane. I have been talking on my channel for some time about the Uppercase magazine, a Canadian publication, and I used those magazines, cut them up for fodder for my glue books after I look through them and read the articles I want to read. I haven't purchased them in a long time because they are expensive, but I've also purchased these books that they publish, and they are the Encyclopedia of Inspiration, and they're doing, I believe they're doing one volume for each letter of the alphabet, but they are not doing them in alphabetical order. And I'm not purchasing all of them. I haven't looked at their site in several years, probably, to see what's new. But I have these 10, and you've expressed interest in doing flip throughs of these books. So I'm going to do a flip through of 5 of them today, if I can get them all in, and still show you nicely what they look like. So I'll try to do 5 today, let's say that, and then I'll do 5 in another video. But I wanted to show you the books that I have. I have Art Supplies, Botanica, Ephemera, Feed Sacks, Notions, Printmaker, Quilted, Rag and Pulp, Stitch Illo, and Vintage Life. So let me just set these aside, and we will try to go through these 5 today. They come with a very nice quality wrapper book jacket, and it's double-sided, so it's got a different design on both sides, and then it opens up, so it's this huge paper. And I use that in junk journals. I could leave it on, but I really like the spine as they are. The book jacket spines are gorgeous, but I like these. So I take them off and I actually use them. So that's a bonus. So I'm going to start with Art Supplies, and I'm just going to get into it because I don't want to waste time. So this is just what it says. Look at the beautiful images right off the bat. And this was published in 2022. So it's got a lot of pages for the table of contents because there's a lot in here. But look at the facing pages. So they will talk about different artists and the art that they do, and also they will talk about how supplies are made, different supplies. This one is about foam stamping, art foamies. And I'm not flipping through every single page. I'm picking up several pages sometimes, because I tried doing this yesterday and my video wasn't working right, but also I was spending too much time on one book. This one is about chalk, and it shows how a person makes chalk, not a factory, a person. So this is how an individual would make chalk. I don't know what's different about what they do versus a factory. This is an artist that uses found nature items. There's an article about how paintbrushes are made. Encaustics, which I believe involves hot wax. I don't know, but I think it involves hot wax. Ferris wheel press. See, the problem is I read the title and then I get interested in what is this about, so it takes me too long. This is about making scissors. So this one lady makes gorgeous scissors. These are watercolors, and this small business makes watercolors. Look at those brush handles. Woodless pencils. So it's just the inner part of the pencil. It does not have the wooden part that we always hang on to. It's interesting. Yesterday I noticed that Robin Marie Smith is in here, Kelly Wynn Conrad, and I've seen a lot of Robin Marie Smith on YouTube doing art. This is also a company, a small business that makes paints, Kramer Pigments, pastels, this is about the artist herself, not making supplies, but just doing art, abstract. These are paintbrushes made with wood and natural materials. And then she does art with them too. This looks like collage here. I have not read this book. This is pencils. That is a bucket, big bucket full of pencils. I hope this is giving you enough of an idea of what's in these books as I go flip quickly through them. Shows the artist studios in some cases, and like I said, the work they do and maybe how they got into it and how supplies are made. Love that. So I believe this lady does collages with art supplies. So these are works of art here, so including this. See those collages? I don't know if they would call this collage, but because it's all 3D. It's pretty cool though. I would love artwork like that hanging on my studio walls. Look at that. Oh, that is us. Maybe you're not into the colors. I am, but that represents junk journalers. Stencil Girl products, paper, making paper, Stone Ground Paint Company. So this is handmade watercolors. I just love the pictures. It's so inspiring to look at these. These are broken pieces of china for mosaics. Tracy Bautista, I've heard of her. She does artisanal colors. Wow. And Typothecary ink. So she must, I don't know if she makes the supplies, but this is some of her art. And graphite. Impasto. I don't know what impasto is. Some of you probably do. Must be some type of media. Traditional and technical. Winsor & Newton. We've heard of those high quality paints, right? Multimedia. And this is a biography of the author of this book. All right, so that was art supplies. Next I have Botanica, and this was in the first group of books. I think when I first heard of this, I don't know how I saw it. I don't know where it appeared in my world, but I do remember I splurged and I pre-ordered, I think it was 5. So 2 of them were already published and the rest were on schedule to be published. So I got the 2 that were published. I paid for them all at once, and that's how they were able to keep on going with the publishing, with all the pre-orders. And then as the books were published, they just automatically sent them to me. This was in that batch of 5. And it's people that make art about flowers, art with flowers, or art using flowers. So you'll see. This is textile design. And I noticed yesterday when I started this video, because I got this far, that that page is loose. So Tiffany's favorite flower, apothecary. So I don't know what she must do, make things with flowers, but not using them in art, but in maybe medicines or beauty products. Flower arranging. It's just if you like flowers, this is a beautiful book. Assemblage. So it's part of her artwork there, and maybe she does the drawing too. She does photography. Anyway, we have to keep going. Permanent press. I love the tone of these artworks. Oh, my furnace is making that weird noise again. And of course the door is open. Why do I never shut that door? This one is about the antique seed catalogs. Gorgeous illustrations. If you saw my springtime journals, you would have, excuse me, you would have seen that I did some journals using those covers of catalogs as covers on my journals. They were so fun. These are tiny little crochet flowers. These are cut paper flowers. Looks like dried flowers. Making dye with flowers. Embroidery. This is, excuse me, this is a scrapbook full of the Victorian ephemera that I have found in scrapbooks. These look like the pictures off of the author's game card game. They are the authors, but they look like the same pictures that are used in that card game. More Victorian ephemera. Illustration, installation, intuition, oh, look at that. She does like tatting around a leaf. That's a lot of intricate art right there. And apparently she does the textiles, designs the textiles. Mixed media. A blade of grass is as lovely as 100 sunflowers. Another mosaic. Wow. These are china pieces, I believe, with florals on them. And then she creates flowers with other pieces. So beautiful. Moss, oh my goodness. These are gorgeous. Flowers on a cake. Some silly art. I mean, the pictures look silly. Yancy and Yara don't mind yard work. Bernadette and Beatrice are together forever. Oh. These look like, oh, the antique postcards. I've had plenty of them pass through my studio. When in doubt, draw a flower. The Romance of Nature, 1836 Tribute to Flower Seasons by Louisa Ann Twomley. Wow, look at these pages. I'm sure these would be very expensive, but maybe they should do a reprint like Edith Holden books. Roses. She does sculpture to make things look like flowers and plants. Paper. Wow, beautiful. Seed packs. I think I have this one. Yeah, I have some of these. I like these with the black. Just makes them look interesting. I'm slowing down, aren't I? Surface pattern. Thread. Wow. She conjures the most delicate thread flowers using techniques of lace, needle hand weaving, plaiting, embroidery, and needle felting. Amazing. Oh, he built a little tree house in the plant. That's what he does. Tropical. They go all around the world to find these artisans. Vegetables, wonder what they're made. Oh, they're glass. Oh my goodness. And she's from Australia. These are blown glass. Amazing. Watercolor. Weddings. These are made out of wood. What a beautiful book. Moving on, we have Ephemera. This, of course, is one of my favorite volumes. Got to get in there this way. Sorry if I wasn't in view. Camera seems to be working okay. It was like stopping and very stilted, like photographs on a video. It was weird. So anyway, let's check out the Ephemera, and I will try. Oh, look at, I have those little brown jug labels. I'll try not to linger too long. I have to show you this. The value stamps, there's a green stamps in an old file label. This is so yummy. All these labels. This is how they're doing the table of contents. Each label has the artist's name and what the article is about and what page it's on. That's pretty cool. Okay. She takes books. So this one's coming apart too. She takes books and cuts a hole and then builds this beautiful image on the inside coming out and then on the outside. So, of course, that's Alice in Wonderland. Africa, book about Africa, the Gardener's Treasury, so that's gardening. Got to keep moving. and record albums. There's the Beatles' Abbey Road. How fun. There's some inspiration for you. The meaning of art. Dressmaking. So this is our ephemera pieces that feature dressmaking, cutting, and fitting. We love that stuff. So, see what I mean about inspiration? You can take a lot of the ideas that you see and translate them into something we can do for junk journals. Penny Candy Handmade. That's the name of her small business. It's named after dime store confections, but these are not candy. That's just the name of her shop. But look at the beautiful ephemera tickets. Oh, I love tickets. This one has a jar full of the plastic bread tabs. I saved those. There's some right there, and I use them as tabs in my journals. Vintage Stars. See, I'm taking too long because I love this stuff. These are fruit labels, fruit stickers like Chiquita Banana. Bingo cards. Oh, oh my goodness. Postage. Bottle caps. Those are like the soda bottle caps. Plastic and printed treasures. Straw papers. And then tearing up some bits of ephemera to make collages. Beautiful paper, aging gracefully. Some postage. Tickets. I just love that display. Everything old, it says. These are those fabric laundry labels. Oh my gosh. Look at that yummy collection of stickers. They're the gummed stickers. I have those bluebirds. I got a little box of them. Mine aren't that dark though. Kathy Holden. I'm sure I saw her in his because I have looked through this whole book and read some of it. So I just forgot she was in there. Oh my goodness. And she put out a line of fabrics. Flea Market Fresh. And then she also, fabrics and other things. And she also did a line called Junk Journal, I think. But I got some of the Flea Market Fresh stuff. And I made journals with it, but I still have some. This is still Kathy. I'm going to go back and read this again, because I know I read it the first time. Okay, then we have advertising signs, like grocery store and other things. Keep going. Flashcards. Oh my goodness. This is so fun to look at. Some of my favorite things are in here. Calendars. Creating with some of these ephemera pieces. The cigarette cards. So I think she's inspired by this collection of children's books for a color palette. Some old invoices. Boy, there are some beautiful invoices from the olden days. Billheads and stuff. Magazines. Look at all those ladies' magazines. I'll have to read that article to see what they're doing with the magazines. More Victorian pieces. I've had stuff like this too. I've been so fortunate in what I can find at the flea market in my area. These are the labels for fruit crates. And look at these. I have some of these. Bananas and ginger. I have some of these. And some of them I didn't find at flea markets. I got them from Etsy or eBay. And the pharmaceutical and beauty labels, I love them. They're expensive. Library cards. Paper dolls. Crepe paper. Books. Such fun things. Papers. Vintage paper and supplies. Playful packets. She must sell these things. Shelf paper. I love to use that, and I was fortunate to find some of that a few times. Women's work. So it's cooking, housework. Oh, I saw some bridge tally cards. Oh, I love these. Little stickers for Christmas packages. Victorian calling cards, sewing patterns, mail labels, paper doll clothes, all the things I love. It's Lisa Cook. Now we're on to Louise Fili, F-I-L-I. Look at the graphics. She must do the art. Or maybe she just collects it. I don't know. Oh, beautiful. The food packaging, etc., was so gorgeous. Pencils. There's a bingo card and some Viewmaster reels. So she created this. And a piano and that. Oh my goodness, she made all of these. With the water cooler. It's pretty cool. Scrapbooks. Ugh. I'm going to look through that for inspiration for sure. Milk bottle caps, tickets, value stamps, Victorian ephemera, and travel labels and stickers, hotels and whatnot. Play money, I think that's play money. Some kind of a bus ticket or something. Like these are fortune things, cigar bands, ice coupons, price tickers and guest check type of things. Oh my goodness. Look at these pages. Christmas. Red. Oh my word. These are gorgeous. There's the milk bottle caps. Look at them all. And she's got tickets back there. I want to go in that store. I'm sure I wouldn't be able to afford anything. I get my stuff cheap at the flea markets. Paper collages. This is a spare bedroom office. I know I'm taking more time with this one, but it's just so much to see, and it is so close to our hearts for what we do. Look at all those Denison labels. The clips. They're cool. Price stickers. That's a Denison product. Oh my gosh. Denison's handy box. So it came with all this stuff. These look like journals. Very shabby journals. Okay, keep going, Diane. Keep going. So like I said, I haven't been on this website in several years, but I'll look for it and link it. These are fabulous. And what are they called? Encyclopedia of Inspiration. Are you feeling inspired? I am. Gorgeous. Okay, moving on. Feed sacks. Where are we time-wise? Can't see because there's a notification on my phone screen. Okay, feed sacks. I know I poured over this one. Oh, there it is. 33 minutes. Okay. We're doing fine. So it tells a story about feed sacks. Look at those little girls in their feed sack dresses. And then it has examples, advertisements, and examples of the patterns themselves. Look at it says Pillsbury's Best. They didn't even hide the fact that it was a flour sack. But I think that was just an advertisement. That's a bag full of cotton. Got some bill heads from the companies. Talks about the company towns. There is a bag. It's a miniature promotion, advertised the Worth & Company's double duty bag and could be used as a pincushion. But that's what it would look like. It would be a feed sack or flour sack or whatever, filled up, sewn, closed, and with a label wrapped around it so you'd know what was inside. Bag printing is difficult art. This section is about the original sacks with their product labeling, which I love to make journals with. And then these are the printed ones that people would make aprons and dresses and shirts and all kinds of things. This was one of the first ones that I got in that first batch. The Ephemera one was not, but I definitely, as soon as I saw that, I knew I had to get that one. This bag is a ready-made apron. They didn't even have to sew that. So this is it, and it's got the apron ties. That's cool. This one has an apron pattern printed on it. And embroidery designs printed on them. I didn't know they did that. Wow. A clever crafter corralled her embroidery floss with a case she stitched from sugarcane bags. Oh, some dolls were printed on them. See that? Cut that out, sew it together, and stuff it. There's a Pillsbury Doughboy. That's fun. And this book helped fuel my interest in feedsack fabrics, and I had ordered some from a shop that's no longer an Etsy store, but we did some promotions together. She sent me some freebies and wanted me to promote her shop, and a lot of you went and bought from her. If you're one of my old-time viewers, you'll probably remember that, but I still have some of the feedsack fabric that I purchased at that period of time. Advertisements for them. So here's what they look like. And it wasn't just feed sacks. These are for feeding chickens, I think. But it was for flour and sugar and lots of other things too. This one has a stamp over the logo and it says brand canceled. So it must be that one went bankrupt or something, and they just canceled, stamped that on there, but still had to sell what was left, you know. There's a sample of a dress and that one. Some patterns for sewing with cotton bags. That's a really nice pattern. I wonder how many sacks it took to make it. So then the woman would have to find enough bead sacks with the same pattern to create. This one has an Alice in Wonderland design. All of those do. To create the dress she wanted, she had to have enough bags with the same pattern. This one has 2. Really cool. Gotta hurry up here. And people made quilts with the feedsack fabrics too. Feedsack fabrics were, they seem to be a looser weave, which seems like it wouldn't work because you'd want it to be a tight weave to hold flour and sugar. There might have been a lining, I don't know. But when you have a feedsack fabric, it has a distinct kind of look to the weave. Lots of samples. And I'm sure when I looked through this before, I'm sure I saw some that I have. Now these probably were for pillowcases. They have the nice little border that a pillowcase would have. Charlene Brewer's Feed Sack Notebooks. So she makes notebooks out of them. Or maybe keeps notebooks. I think that's it, because it's just a little swatch stitched in. So she keeps a notebook of fabric, of feed sack swaps. Swatches, not swaps. Oh, I love these pages. I wish I could use these pages in a journal, but I am not taking these books apart. Feed sack pieces arranged by color. So many different patterns. Some of them were downright ugly, but some of them were so cute and fun and pretty. I love this one. All right, feed sacks. One more to look at, and that is notions. We have buttons, rickrack. Where are we? Okay. I was just checking the time. So these buttons are all covered in silk threads. I just can't believe the work that was done on those. Some more buttons. So there's probably a section that's just different artisans that make buttons or collect buttons or make things with buttons. Look at that piece of art with buttons. So stuff like that would be fun in our journals. She just sewed some buttons across the bottom of a postcard. Button collecting. Pearl buttons. The zipper. Elastic. Straight pins. All the sewing notions. Other fasteners. Snaps. They used some beautiful artwork on their snap and button packages. You know, I've had several of these. Pin cushions. Also, they were beautiful. Cutting with scissors. So this section is about cutting. Stork scissors. Maybe it'll tell why stork scissors were a thing. Sew tights. Don't know. Oh, it's for doing applique. Folding your edges over tightly, I guess. Rotary cutter. Seam ripper. Make and mend. Making garments. Sewing workwear. So that had to be sturdy. Quilts by hand. Applique. These are woven labels with the uppercase logo. Dress forms. Darning. My mother used a light bulb for darning, but they usually had wooden eggs, some with a handle. So you could pull it in and out of the sock that you were darning. And darning is mending stitches that have torn or worn through. Look at the iron-on transfer. So he's taking quilting designs and making something out of wood with them. I'm not going to take the time to try to figure some tools with handles that look like quilt patterns. Patches, wrinkle-free for centuries. So irons. I did not know irons were considered a notion, but I suppose. Starch and spray. So the labels for starch packages, they didn't used to come in a can. They were things like a powder that you had to mix with water. Embroidery, or just transfers. Iron them on and they're there because they're already colored. Notions packages, and look what she does with them. She stitches these things together. So she creates a little art piece and then stitches them together to create a collage of them. Look at the scissors on her wall. Mixed media stitches. That's fun. Who wants to try that? She does a collage background of paper and then there's stitching on it. Some fabrics, different notions, vintage. Oh my goodness. Notion nannies. So there's a doll that's carrying notions. Doll made in England between 1848 and 1860. That is so fun. Looks like I don't know if their clothing is made up of notions or if they just if they're all covered with notions because they're selling them. Sewing samplers, different techniques. I don't know what a sewing bird is. I'll have to read that and see. Patterns. Yes, patterns. Sewing baskets. I love sewing baskets. Denison's Whatnot cabinet. Huh. So this has cotton thread, needles, darning thread, silk thread, buttons, hooks, eyes, and snaps. And probably a little space there for scissors and stuff. That's fun. I didn't know they did stuff like that. These are trade cards that feature sewing threads and things like that. Sewing. I know that I have found a lot of sewing machine trade cards. Measure and mark. So some of these are new products, not vintage. Sewing gauge. I used those all the time when I was sewing clothes. I still have one. Trims. Oh, I love this piece of art. She's beating that rug and like these little rickrack designs are flying. That's pretty cool. There's a windmill with rickrack trailing around. Painted rickrack. That's really fun. Fun art. Embellishing quilts. Lace making. Pom-poms. The old haberdashery. Botanica tinctoria. So this is naturally dyed threads and laces. Bias tape sequins. Fabric and cloth. I wouldn't think of fabric as a notion either, but selvages. Fun. So they took letters off of selvages to create a word. That is a fun idea. And these are selvages all sewn together. The quilt batting. The cheater cloth is when it's already printed on, and then you quilt it. I never heard it called cheater cloth. crazy quilts, needle and thread, needle books, we like those, and the needle threaders. Thimbles, cotton threads, silk threads and how they're made, machines and tools, tracing wheel, and the trade cards for the sewing machines, sewing machine oil, all right, so that is the first 5 volumes of my Encyclopedia of Inspiration. Do you feel inspired? What's your favorite one? And I hope you'll come back to see the next 5 in a future video, not too distant future. I hope you enjoyed this flip through, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Have a creative day. Bye.